Okay, hello everyone. This is Parfex here, and I've heard a lot of things about the Scholar. Some say he's fun, some say he's terrible, some don't know how to use him. So here I just want to go over a quick video on a build that I feel like anyone can make and use and why it's so good. So right over here, we're using pieces that hopefully you have access to by this point. So Knight of the Fathom, you kill the Augur, and then if you beat the Balancers, you get the Will of the Balancers. And the reason why these two go so well on this build is because this one lets you heal your allies, and more importantly, items confer effect to all nearby allies. The other thing, the increased max HP is pretty good too. The other thing I want to point out is you're not really going to be using the melee attack power, but I'm sure you've seen videos by now about the improved skill attack power and how I believe it's a 20% buff, which is huge. And then the continuous FP recovery technically can make it where you have unlimited attacks with this, with some limitations. And the last thing, and this is why I say almost anyone can have this build, you want to have a relic that has Bloodblade at the start of Expedition. This is a colorless spot, so any relic that you have that has it can go here. Other ideas for the build is if you want to play singles, you can replace this one out for the Remembrance tier right here. Continuous damage inflicted after ult use, improved affinity damage negation, and defeating enemies fills more art gauge is another substitute. But you really want to use the items confer effect, because as you're leveling things up, you can pretty much make your team invincible and be a team res. Like if someone's getting grabbed, you can heal them through it. It's too powerful to ignore in my opinion. Another thing to note is that the chalice that you're going to use is the Scholar's Chalice, which you get after completing your first remembrance with the Scholar. And again, the Knight of the Fathom can be replaced by the Cleansing tier, which you get from the second remembrance. So don't get me wrong, the Scholar is a support, but in this build, it is a pure DPS. You still can use the abilities, but as you can see, you can pretty much one-shot enemies. This build enjoys poise, so items like the Iron Aromatics or any poise buffs will make it where they can't interrupt you as you're swinging. And as you can see, if they can't stop you from swinging, they can't stop you, and they just melt. In these next few clips, I'm going to show a run that not only did not go well, but went about as poorly as it can go. It started out simple. I got the church, I went in here and beat up the giant, and we got ourselves a purple smithing stone. I haven't tested this, but I'm not even sure if upgrading this weapon is necessary. Someone in the comments can let me know if weapon skills upgrade with their color. I think they do, but honestly, I have used my weapon being white and outdamaged a Rivers of Blood with this build, so it's really hard to say. In this video, you'll even see that we have the Volcano event, and I end up getting this weapon gold, and it feels about the same, if I'm being honest. As you can see, this weapon does quick reses too. I was able to pick up my teammate in 2, and if anyone hasn't noticed, like I said, this run's about to go wrong. We have a Raider and 2 Scholars, and you're going to find out soon enough, thanks for the res, that it's going to be just about 2 Scholars, and that's, in my opinion, is one of the worst teams to have together. Not only are you competing for resources, but neither person really wants to take aggro, and it's not known for being a DPS, it's known for being a support build. And here we have it, the crybaby levers that everybody hates when they're playing with randoms. We have our first lever who just didn't enjoy the way the run was going and didn't want to come back. We won't see him anymore. Now I do want to give credit to my other Scholar. He ends up running a Frost, Poison, and Rot build, and we are versing the Gaping Jaw. Not even the Everdark one, I just was testing, but like I said, this run could not have gone worse, and we still seem to pull it through. So There are other builds out there that are strong, but I just want to give a shout out to my other scholar. Back on things going wrong, you see that I am level 4. I just lost a level. Both of us did not survive the night, and I'll be honest, this build doesn't care. I mean, it reses so quick, and it doesn't really blink. Once you get swinging, you only pay the health once, and then it's just a slight little FP. Since this skill costs HP to use, it doesn't cost a lot of FP. So that slow regen that you get from the Balancer's Medallion actually sustains itself through the run. There are instances where you go through a marathon and you might end up burning through your mana, especially if you use it to res people like I do. But overall, even if you get down to the last little bit, you can still keep swinging, because as long as you have 1 FP, it'll use some of your health and then still get off the 1 attack. Now, one thing you do want to do is you want to have as much stamina as you can. That's really your limiting factor. Stamina items are a big deal. Skill up damage, FP reduction are all things that you want to pick up. So basically, you want to start swinging and keep swinging. You want your poise to tank through it. You want your swings to keep going, because once you pay the HP cost once, you're only paying that little bit of FP as you keep swinging. And if you ult, you can even recover your HP as you're going. And FP is your limiting factor. A recluse on the team, or even just grabbing an FP shard, will really go a long way. I know I keep focusing on the damage of this build. You should be grabbing items as you play this character. You should be eating boluses off the floor, you should be grabbing food effects, you should be upgrading everything. Merchants always have 4 aromatics that you can pick up at each one. They have infinite fire pots. Fire pots you can use to res teammates at level 3. They get rid of a bar each, and the fire keeps it where you have time to kite the enemy while they're still technically getting picked up through your firebomb. Also, the turtlenecks are probably the best support item with it. Not only do you have infinite at the merchants, but unlike the crab and the flesh, they will overlap each other's buffs. The turtleneck doesn't. So if you go in there with level 3 food effects and you use the turtleneck and then you use the crab, you will give your teammates more HP, you will heal them, and you'll give them the respective buffs. I think there's other things, but I haven't looked too much into it. There are videos out, and you can just make your character stupid survivable, double your HP, and just never stop swinging. At this point, we have made it down to the bottom of the volcano, and we pretty much recovered the run. We're level 11, and I know everyone thinks that you need to be level 15 on every single run, but going from level 13 to level 15 is only about a 4.3% total buff to your HP, your stamina, and everything like that. Level 13 really should just be the standard for max level, because you might want to use your money for items, especially on this build. Everybody wants to be level 15. I'm not saying don't do that, but 11, 12 on a white boss is plenty enough level to take it on. Level 10 is kind of the bare minimum, and 12 is around comfortable. And we just hit level 12 right now. So now we're going to heal up and take the bird. As you notice, my teammate did not heal up before taking the bird and didn't make it. RIP the homie. At this point, everyone kind of knows the gist. It's the end of day 2. The build is in full bloom, and it's just shredding. We have a gold weapon, we've got our items, everything's level 3. We even run into an ancient dragon, and I sped it up here because everyone's kind of seen it, but it just does damage and damage and damage. My teammate is over there using rot and frost and poison. I get a little bit greedy here where I just spam attacks because the boss is almost dead and I'm close to full health. I end up taking a big hit right here, but it doesn't really matter. The fight's over, and hey, we get the rare second boss on night 2. Nothing more really to say. Items are OP. I try and go for a parry, but he doesn't look at me, so I just do the debuff. When I'm at half health, I don't really care. I see the hippo's health bar appear and I immediately ult. And now I'm just tanking through hits with my items and slowly regaining health with my ultimate. And there's really nothing they can do to stop me. My teammate follows up with his ult, and we can pretty much just tank through the rest of the fight between the buffs and the constant healing. I'm not even bothering dodging, I'm just trying to get my head off and get the kill. The final boss is the regular Gaping Jaw. Like I said, I was just testing a build and trying to unlock a few remembrances for something easy. Wanted something that bleeds, but this can be used into Libra, it can be used into the Dark Drift Knight. Honestly, you don't even need the bleed to proc. Like, obviously that's huge amounts of damage, but the skill itself does so much damage that as long as you have up skill powers in your pickup items, you're going to just melt bosses. He's already lost a quarter health, and I feel like I was holding aggro half that time. I'm going to fast forward to phase 2 in this fight as we wrap this up. I go over here and I ult to avoid this grab attack. And then we just bully him from here on out. Even though my teammate gets grabbed here, I'm able to just tank through the healing and apply so much damage per second that it doesn't matter. Here's a good example of when I used the level 3 fire pots to res my teammate. I think he crawled out of it. It should have got the last tick, but it does a third of a bar of recovery for every fireball at level 3 that you throw at your team. Here I try and go for a parry, but even though I have the gauge full, I just can't get him to look at me, so I apply the debuff anyways. As the battle comes to a close, I just want to go over items that you want to look for out in the world. You want to get skill attack up, skill FP reduction, you want to get damage reduction, you want to get things that give you back stamina. You don't want to get items that require you to have full HP for the defense or offense, simply because every time you use your skill it does eat a little bit of health from you. And also poise. Poise, poise, poise. You don't want to have to keep repaying the cost every time you restart. I posted the build one more time. Thank you all if you made it to the end of the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment any other builds you'd like me to make in the future.